Simon, I asked you to answer the question, why didn't the NFL Commissioner, Roger Goodell, overturn the game result in which the Seahawks won the game, according to the ref, even though the Packers intercepted the Hail Mary pass to the end. Almost everyone agrees that the Packers intercepted it. It came out a week after this material. I did not include this, but it came out a week after that even the refs finally admitted and that they had got the call wrong. So why wasn't this overturned? This was a law. It was not a a real victory. I mean, the Packers intercepted the ball. It wasn't a touchdown. Everyone admits that. However, as they walked off the field, right, the refs had ruled it a touchdown, and the numbers stood for that night. Now, there was speculation the next day whether or not the NFL would overturn it, and they did not. I asked you to try to find out why, and this is really an exercise in item analysis when you're looking at one event, one thing, and trying to really understand what might be all the cogs or wheels, the wheels and gears, rather, underneath the surface mechanism of the machine, the surface level of the machine, that's causing it to run the way it does. Now I gave you all of this so that you could see basically the furor of this, the excitement of it. I mean, look at these. The 5 main trending stories are all about this, more or less. Now I did want you to try to mention something here. There's a little hint to it right here. Okay, but that's just to the edge. Now here's Whitlock. He wrote this long article drawing an analogy to money, but it was just an analogy, so he's not really literally saying that the NFL stocks fell. I'm not even sure they have stocks. So there's a lot of just analogy going on here. He's not really what I want you to focus on. Look at all these other, articles out there. All right, so you may have read this and gotten some information about that. I hope that you actually watched the call, that sort of thing. Here's Whitlock is still going on. Now, the NFL posted this, and they're saying, listen, we can't do it. We cannot. It's not in our it's not in our power. It's not in Goodell's power to do this. Okay. Let's see. And they provide you with a copy of the rules, apparently. All right. So they're really trying to shore up their stance that Goodell cannot do this. You can't overturn afterwards. My question is this a bad code, a bad law? Because obviously that was a game that did not end in a touchdown. It ended in an interception. So, well, what I want you to notice here, and by suggesting that, I'm saying, look, at one point you have to revise your code book. You have to revise your bylaws or whatever it is you're following if it clearly demonstrates that there can be a conflict between what's written and what is the truth. Okay, so you could say the NFL is kind of using their code book to not have to deal with this. But now they are the ones that published it. All right, the NFL published this. NFL.com. I tried to show that to you right here. And they have a vested interest in this material. Okay, especially because of the referee problems they've had. So, yeah, some of you pointed this out when you were trying to get to the root of this, or some possible roots of this. The NFL is in a contract negotiation with the union refs, the regular refs, and they don't want to give the regular refs what the regular refs are asking, and so they have a whole batch of replacement refs. These refs are not even coming from college level. Okay, so they're not well trained. They're not in the physical condition they need to be in. They're not used to watching and training their eyes, positioning their eyes so they can see the lightning fast movements. But the NFL wants them there because it's saving them money. They're trying to use this replacement batch as leverage against the union of the regular referees. So they have vested interest in saying the refs are doing okay. All right, if they were to admit, boy, this is just horrible, they're even blowing calls like this, then they start to give ground to the union refs who are saying, well, we told you so. You need us there, and so you need to pay us a little bit more. You need to pay us what we're asking. So yes, that is a potential, right? No doubt about it. However, here's more of the stuff here, and I just finally went ahead and put this in here to see how many of you could see this. Look, if you read this article, maybe one of the reasons is that how do you repay a bet that's already paid? I mean, as soon as the Seahawks won, people got paid across the nation who were betting. Now, this is just information on Vegas, but they say multiply this by 10. All right, so you get about $1 billion here that you're going to have to figure out how to reverse. All right, so it gets deposited into the apparent winner's account, but then the next day it appears that whoever thought they won the bet and had the money deposited now didn't win the bet because the Packers won. How are you going to get the money back out of that bank? That's impossible. You don't refund these bets. So, in order for Vegas and the betting community to maintain faith in the NFL as an object on which you can place bets on and not have this sort of fracas happening, you cannot overturn the games. And as soon as they lose faith in you as an object to bet on, you lose watchers. You lose attention. All right, people are tremendously attentive and interested in watching that which they have placed the bet on. And as soon as they begin to watch you reverse calls the day after, they're not placing their bets. All right, so you're going to lose a lot of viewers this way, and that might be unthinkable. Now, I'm not saying the NFL has a direct tie to Vegas. I'm just saying you are going to lose some of your clout as something to be watched if people can't place bets on you. So this might be one of the wheels underneath it all that is not as obvious as the others. I've seen only one article on this about the money issue on bets, but this might help explain why the NFL couldn't overturn it. So this is item analysis. You really try to go under the obvious, down deep into the other gears that are making this event, this thing, take the direction it takes.